Hey everyone, welcome back to FT News. I'm Myra. Richard Gadd has officially delivered one of the most emotionally brutal television finales of the year with Half Man, and after that final barn scene, viewers everywhere are still trying to process what they just watched. The ending of the BBC and HBO Max drama answered the biggest questions of the entire series, but it also left audiences shocked, devastated, and arguing online about the deeper meaning behind Ruben and Neil's relationship. And honestly, this finale did not hold back at all. The final episode takes place years after the major events of episode 5. Ruben is now in prison, Mona has a child named Ben, and Neil has built a new life on the surface. But underneath everything, secrets are still destroying all of them. One of the biggest reveals early in the finale is that Ben is actually Neil's son, not Ruben's. Mona and Neil slept together while Ruben was away, and Neil kept that secret buried for years. That truth becomes the emotional time bomb that destroys everything by the end of the episode. But before the finale reaches that reveal, the episode focuses heavily on the relationship between Ruben and Neil themselves. For the first time in the series, Neil finally tells Ruben the truth about being gay. This was something Neil feared his entire life, because Ruben constantly used homophobic slurs throughout the show, and Neil believed Ruben would reject or hate him if he ever admitted his feelings. But the reaction completely surprises him. Instead of exploding in anger, Ruben laughs and tells Neil he already knew. He says he suspected it for years and actually did not care at all. That moment completely changes the emotional direction of the finale because for the first time, Neil realizes he may have wasted years being terrified of something that was never fully true. But Ruben also tells him something even darker. During their prison conversation, Ruben finally reveals that his own father abused him as a child. And this becomes the true meaning behind the title Half Man. Ruben explains that the abuse destroyed part of him psychologically. He says it made him feel weak, broken, and incomplete for his entire life. That is why he became obsessed with aggression, masculinity, violence, and appearing emotionally untouchable. He spent decades trying to prove he was not a half man. And this scene completely recontextualizes Ruben as a character. Throughout the series, he often felt terrifying, unstable, manipulative, and violent. But in this moment, viewers finally understand the pain and trauma underneath all of it. Neil even tells Ruben he is still his hero after hearing the truth, which becomes one of the most emotional scenes in the episode. For a brief moment, it almost feels like the two characters might finally heal. And that is exactly why the ending hurts so much. After opening up emotionally to each other, the two begin confessing secrets almost like a game. They laugh together, expose old lies, and finally act like brothers reconnecting after years of emotional destruction. But then Neil goes too far. He reveals that he slept with Mona. And then he reveals Ben is actually his child. The second Ruben hears that, everything changes instantly. You can literally feel the atmosphere die in that moment. Ruben's entire life collapses emotionally because the one thing he still believed belonged to him was stolen too. In his mind, Neil did not just betray him romantically or sexually. He stole his future, his family, and his chance at happiness. That revelation becomes the direct reason for the terrifying barn scene teased throughout the entire series. At Neil's wedding, Ruben locks him inside the barn, and the confrontation finally explodes into violence. The fight itself is horrifying because it feels deeply emotional rather than cinematic. There is nothing glamorous about it. These are two broken men destroying each other physically after emotionally destroying each other for decades. Neil tries to fight back and eventually stabs Ruben with the knife hidden in his sock. But Ruben still overpowers him and suffocates him to death while screaming that he loves him. That line completely sums up the tragedy of the entire series. Ruben genuinely loved Neil in his own damaged way, but that love became toxic, possessive, violent, and ultimately fatal. And the ending becomes even darker afterward. After killing Neil, Ruben sits silently while bleeding from his own wound. Earlier scenes heavily imply that the stab wound eventually kills him too, meaning both men die because of the truth they could never properly handle. The title Half Man ends up applying to both characters. Neil spent his life repressing his identity and emotionally orbiting around Ruben. Ruben spent his life hiding trauma and building a violent version of masculinity to protect himself. Together, they became emotionally dependent on each other in a way that was impossible to survive. One of the reasons this finale is hitting audiences so hard is because Richard Gadd refuses to give viewers easy answers or comforting redemption. Even when the characters finally become emotionally honest with each other, the damage from years of lies, repression, trauma, and obsession is already too deep. And that final black screen after Ruben looks at Neil's body feels absolutely haunting. The show leaves viewers asking whether these two men ever truly had a chance to save each other, or whether their relationship was always doomed from the beginning. Either way, Half Man delivered one of the darkest and most emotionally exhausting endings television has seen in a very long time. Thank you for watching this video. Sending you lots of love, and I'll see you in the next one.